Hello, everybody. This is Jason with EXP Realty here in Charleston, and today I wanted to talk about a topic that comes up every year during the holidays, and that's: is it a good time to buy or to sell, or either? And in that, I want to discuss a little bit about a proposed Biden administration tax credit that could change what a normal answer for a normal year would be. And looking at 2020, obviously it's been a much different year, a much more challenging year. In normal years, buying during the holiday period is there's no real downside to it. There might even be some positives in that the sellers, where there would be a downside to selling, a slight one, that they're not going to go off the market as quick, they're not going to sell as quickly, would work in your advantage. So while selling during this time it can be done and it's not to be avoided, but if you really want to get your best listing stats and your bang for your buck and have the best bargaining power with dealing with buyers while your home's been on the market for less time, maybe listing during the selling maybe selling your home during the holidays isn't the best time. Maybe around 1st of January, mid-January. But on the buyer side, what you have are homes that were listed earlier or do come on the market during the holidays, and now you are one of fewer, and you're not going to be the only, but one of fewer people that are looking at the home. It can get you maybe more attention. You might be able to get a better deal. But really, those are what you see on a normal holiday year. And like I said, in 2020, we have a much different scenario. And I'm going to refer back to my notes here. With Biden right now, currently, the Biden administration, they have a few different initiatives that they're talking about putting into place that would help first-time home buyers. The biggest I'll start with first is a $15,000 tax credit, and that tax credit is advanceable. What that means is you would get the $15,000 to use towards the down payment on the home, and if you could cover the down payment, then towards the mortgage down payment, or the mortgage itself rather, you could use. I know there's a couple loans. There's a USDA loan. There's an FHA 203K where you're putting down 0 and 3.5%. So you get a $200,000 house at 3.5% down. You got $7,000. You got $8,000 left over. You can still keep that $8,000 and use it as you see fit towards the home. So it's a really it's called an advanceable tax credit. It's a very usable tax credit. These have been around in the past, with the Bush administration doing a $7,500 tax credit and Obama administration doing an $8,000 tax credit. However, those were the traditional methods of payment. So it would be based on your tax liability, and it's still money. You would just pay less into your taxes each year. But if you didn't make enough money to begin with to have a down payment, you probably didn't make enough money to have enough tax liability that not paying it would ever amount to anything. But they did work, and they were geared towards a different kind of market, a market with a lot of empty houses, where we are now looking at a market where the interest rates are at an all-time low and the inventory's low. So this would be an initiative along with others to help spur the market. You can't just do the $15,000 tax credit, or you're going to have even more buyers with few sellers. But there are other things that are going to come about in addition to this $15,000 tax credit, and those would be, I'll get to those now actually. They're going to look at extra home buying assistance to public servants, student loan forgiveness of up to $10,000, and also increase the housing supply. So here's another way to get past the issue of having too many buyers. They're going to put $100 million into new construction. And then lastly, one that's of interest to me, because I've written about this with Experian, is they're talking about creating a public credit agency that would monitor things like rent, cell phone payments that aren't currently being payment monitored to the credit bureau. Would help people raise their credit scores. And then going back, looking here, so how much would $15,000 really matter to most homeowners? The average here in Charleston home selling price is $319,000 in November, and that's a huge jump, $50,000 more than it was last year in November. Last year in November it was $259,500, so significant. But a $300,000 home, 20% down, $60,000. 15,000 is not going to be nearly as big a percentage as my earlier example where you had overage, but it's still going to speed up the curve by an average of 3 years. The averages are 5,000 a year is able to be saved by the average homeowner to go into down payment. So you would save yourself, the average person would save themselves roughly 3 years by using this 15,000 towards home ownership, which is significant. Homeowners are shown to take better care of their properties, better quality neighborhoods. It's just an all-around benefit for the homeowner and the economy and the general welfare of the community. So this is because of these reasons, I would suggest, it's okay to be looking right now, but maybe you want to wait to buy until closer to the end of January, February, when the new administration takes over and some of these plans are enacted. It might be a good time to kind of look. If you see something that you just got to have, it's your perfect home, sure, get it. But maybe it's not a bad thing to be looking but not ready to buy yet. A lot of people are in that scenario and just watching. So for my 2 cents, this holiday year, I would definitely be more of a looker preparing to buy than I would actually buying. More than happy to help you out with the looking process and keep you up to date on where these initiatives are going and when they are put out. Just reach out to me. You can see in the comments section below is my email, my phone number, and I'll put a link to the article I wrote about the Experian public credit type system that's similar to the one the government's proposing putting into place. Thank you all. Hope you have a great rest of your week.